Howdy folks, Tex Grebner here with Tex Grebner Outdoors. Hope you guys are ready for your Tex Grebner Outdoors Saturday morning cartoon awesomeness, because it's the Illinois Archery season 2019, week number 12. That's right, we are 12 weeks within the slow descent into madness that is the Illinois Archery season. Now, if you guys want to support the channel in a way beyond simply watching the videos, you can go to TexGrebnerOutdoors.com. Check out the Make It Weird sticker, the Make It Weird shirt, the Life Ain't Like the Pornos, Hunting Ain't Like the TV Show shirt, because by God ain't that the truth, and my personal favorite, the Kill with Stick shirt. Now, if you guys are looking for a discount on all your Trad Live supplies, you can go to threeriversarchery.com and show your support for Tex Grebner Outdoors in your checkout, and it'll give you a shipping discount. Now, I personally love the reflective arrow wraps, but you can also get the Trophy Burr limb bolts, which are fantastic for a takedown recurve so that you don't have to worry about keeping track of an Allen wrench. And it never hurts to have a spare bowstring laying around. Now, you don't have to be in good shape to be a good hunter. But as a hunter, you will never regret being in good shape. It's really a quality of life issue. And so, if you're looking for a reason to start a fitness journey, or you need motivation to continue your current fitness journey, I strongly recommend that you check out traintohunt.com. Look into their online programming, check out the Train to Hunt Challenge events, and I hope to see you guys one of these days at a Train to Hunt National Championship. Of course, here we are, 12 weeks in, the slow descent into madness. So here are the questions that matter right now. If I were a deer that had to live out here, what would I be doing and where would I be? It's a brand new adventure. It's been snowing. I got that tree stand moved before muzzleloader season. And now, here I am, following up a deer trail, heading into the stand. Now, you can technically bow hunt during the muzzleloader season if you wear blaze orange. But that doesn't normally work out real well when it comes to getting struggle stick close. So I decided that after I set this stand last week before muzzleloader season started, that I was just going to give it a weekend off. And so this was my first chance to actually seriously hunt for quite a while, all things considered, between gun seasons and family stuff and real life stuff. Now, when it's 20 degrees outside, the good news is you don't have to worry about it raining. And it had snowed quite a bit since I'd last been in the woods when I set this stand. And I love hunting on the snow. And the ragweed field that I was overlooking was just so damn majestic. But the questions on my mind as I'm sitting here are, if I were a deer, where would I be right now if I had to live out here? And what would I be doing? And hence the high-stakes game of whack-a-mole goes on. Now, the funny thing is, and I couldn't quite figure it out, we're really late into the season. I mean, we're not January yet, but we're pretty late. And yet, all around this stand, I'm seeing on the honey locust saplings where they've been rubbed on, and a couple of signpost rubs and a few scrapes made in the frozen ground, which could be really good. The trouble is, I know that they will be geared toward food, so they'll probably be rutting out in the picked cornfield unless they're going to come in for the greenbrier that's all around this stand and the berry brambles to eat off the tender bark. With hunting, it's a visceral mystery and you never really know. It's the high-stakes game of whack-a-mole. But I was at least happy that I actually got out to do a full day's sit. So much of hunting at least with whitetail hunting in my experience, is being in the right place at the right time and being able to read trail sign in order to know within practically a few feet of where animals are going to be traveling. The trouble is the when and the how often. Because if you sit on a deer trail long enough, eventually something is going to stumble by or get chased by, because deer are going to do what deer are going to do. Now, I can't help but think, even though I am so blessed to be hunting McKee's timber this year, that this time of year I know exactly where I would be sitting in Crocker's Hollow, and that there would be a real good chance that a deer would run past me or walk past me on its way down into his cornfield. But that's whiskey under the bridge, and I can't change it now. It was about, I'd say 10 degrees out with a little bit of wind. Of course, the wind was out of the totally wrong direction, but if they were coming toward me, I was going to be screwed anyways because the leaves were off the trees. And I look over across the creek in the pasture, and here's a buck chasing around a doe. So I still had plenty of daylight left, and I was at least happy that they were still rutting. So I got down out of the tree and went over there to see if maybe I could find some other bucks that were laid up in the brush. It wasn't to be, and I didn't feel like getting all wet with it being 10 degrees outside when I still had an hour till sunset. Now, it would be so absolutely perfect if a deer would walk out from behind that fallen oak tree and give me a shot. It would be about a 10-yard shot with a good shot angle. Be about perfect. But, unfortunately, anybody can hunt October. And I don't have high hopes for the season at this point, but I'm still going to keep going out. You feel like you've burnt all your chances. I'm not going to pretend like I know what the hell I'm doing right now, but I got a good feeling, which hope is the lie that keeps us going. At this point, the deer can be anywhere and everywhere, and only God really knows. Of course, I got a real good feeling that I ought to go hunt the shitty stand tonight. If you're wondering why I call it the shitty stand, it's because right underneath of where my stand sits at, there's a limb that juts out, and it's always covered in coon crap, so that's why I call it the shitty stand. Of course, I've had a real big buck walk under me twice at that spot this time of year last year, so who knows. Funny thing is, they're probably bedded down there right next to the creek at the bottom of the hill, and so I'll jump them out when I actually get there. Oh well. Nothing I can do about it now. You feel like you've burnt all your chances. But it wouldn't be the first time that I hunted empty-handed into January. And there's always the wonder, well, I'm sitting out here. Am I going to be able to hit something if it actually shows up? In the interest of leaving no stone unturned and reducing my regrets about what might be happening while I'm somewhere else, I decided I should probably hunt this stand today. And the truth is, it was pretty damn cold. But the good news was the swan dry worked as advertised. The bad news was that I had to wear my hip boots, which are uninsulated, in order to get across the creek. So in spite of the fact that I had 2 pair of wool socks on, regular old uninsulated rubber hip boots on a steel tree stand platform when it's 10 degrees outside, yeah, your feet get really cold. Now, I know that it's not a dangerous cold, it's just a discomfort kind of cold. I know I'm not going to get frostbite, but it also doesn't mean that I'm going to be happy about it. So the day rapidly turned into an endurance exercise because the entire rest of my body was beautifully warm with my wool base layers and my swan dry layers and my big bill Canadian pants on. Fantastic, except for the fact that my feet on the tree stand platform were absolutely freezing. It was so beautiful and majestic and just visceral. I love hunting in adverse conditions because since I am so rarely successful, it is what I call trophy weather, where the conditions are so terrible that you get to brag about what you did even though you come home empty-handed. I also hate being proved right, because right in the magic hour, when I knew the deer would have to get up and move, I looked behind me across the fence row, and here's a doe feeding out in Crocker's cornfield that had came out of Crocker's Hollow. But I can't change it. That's just the way that it works out. Deer are wild and free, majestic creatures, and they're going to do what they're going to do.
Now, it is not impossible that a deer might happen past one of my stands, because they're in good spots. It's not impossible. But nothing is impossible, only mathematically improbable. Now, it's an absolutely beautiful day, but we're getting close to Christmas, and yeah, the long and short of it is the season is either won or lost by this point in most cases. But I've got some buck lure, which I can't believe I actually spent more money on snake oil. But I've got some buck lure. I'm going to spray it around. I'm going into McKee's tonight. But I admit, I don't honestly know why I'm still going out, other than that it is a primal feeling. Now, you can have a good feeling and things not turn out right, but we'll see how tonight goes, because I'm not out here because I want to be out here. I'm out here because it's still bow season, and I would hate myself if I didn't try and capitalize on any possible opportunity.
In spite of the nagging dread of another empty season, another failed year, I couldn't help but be excited as soon as I got down the hill and crossed the fence and got into McKee's timber. Of course, the creek was running. It wasn't totally froze up yet, and I couldn't really see a deer wanting to get wet when it's, 15 degrees outside. And so I decided, to hell with it. I got nothing to lose. I might as well trust my instincts. And I was right. I walked up the ridge, across the ridge top, and over to my other stand that I'd set in the middle of the night a couple weeks ago now. And there was a buck. I didn't put a stalk on him because he was facing toward me naturally when I came down the hill to this spot. And he eventually got up and just walked off. The funny thing was, I managed to get up into the tree, get everything set up, but I was caught. I knew that there wasn't a chance in hell that, having seen me, that he was going to be around. So I decided that I might as well still hunt my way around the border, because I had plenty of daylight, and if something was going to be around, it would be around. And so I moved around as slow and as quiet as I possibly could, trying to find other deer that might be bedded. And with plenty of daylight left, I got back to my stand, because at least I knew that I had tried. Even if it was a little bit too aggressive, I might as well be walking around trying to find bedded deer, as opposed to sitting and doing nothing, just dreading the fact that sunset might come and leave me empty-handed. So at least I gave it a try, because at this point in the season, I kind of have to be aggressive because I literally have nothing to lose. What's the worst that can happen? I come home empty-handed?
I've got enough daylight to at least get out there, so by God, we're going. And I tell you what's funny. It is a strange duality of deer hunting. How something can be so god-awful boring and so absolutely beautiful all at the same time. It really is weird. Because you go out and you've got a goal in mind. And some guys, other than me, get to be successful much more easily. But then I question whether or not that I am actually better off for my struggles. Because at this point, I take a great pride in the amount of suck that I am willing to endure in order to hunt whitetail. And that's just the sad, honest to God truth, where, you know, I've sat in a deer stand and not killed deer, but I've sat through an ice storm before because I was too stubborn to get down. I've sat hours in the rain. I've hunted whitetail unsuccessfully when it was 20 below zero outside. I think 30 is the lowest below zero that I've actually gone out and hunted in. But I know what the sound of snow falling on snow sounds like. And I know bird calls, and I get to watch the squirrels. And just like last night, I get to watch deer being deer. And I don't know. It's weird how something can be so god-awful boring and so damn pretty all at the same time.
For being almost Christmas while I'm taping this, the weather was absolutely beautiful. It was so pleasant. I couldn't believe it. Of course, didn't see much tonight other than a buck chasing a doe across the top of the ridge 200 yards away on the other side of the ragweed field. So, with the struggle stick, that doesn't do me much good. And I wish that I had been able to capture the audio, because just as it was getting dark, there's something beautiful and forlorn about a coyote's howl at the edge of shooting light when your hunt is coming to a close. Now, a wolf's howl is full of regal savagery. I've heard a wolf howl in the wild before, but a coyote's howl is savage and spiteful. It's like the anthem of the outcasts. It is forlorn and tenacious. And so, the season goes on, the slow descent into madness continues, and I will be here until the last dog gets hung, because Wile E. Coyote is my spirit animal. The further that the season goes, you will definitely see a progression that is noticeable of my energy levels in these intros and closings, because it is a slow descent into madness. If you binge watch these episodes, you will definitely see me go from October, where I'm hopeful, to where we are now, where I am resigned to my fate, but still spitting into the storm. Because there's nothing that's set in stone that says that I can't have a deer walk under me within range, and that I can't get it on film, and that I can't make the shot, and that I can't find the deer. I hunt for thrill of the chase. But as I've always said, it's a high-stakes game of whack-a-mole, and it is a slow descent into madness because hope is the lie that keeps us going. Now, Wile E. Coyote may be my spirit animal, but the coyote's howl is savage and spiteful, and it is like the anthem of the outcasts. And so here I go once again into the breach, dear friends. There's still some season yet to go, and I will be here until the last dog gets hung because I hate the idea of quitting. I've quit plenty in my life, and there's nothing that is set in stone that says that I can't be successful, even if I do feel very forlorn about my season, because I want to bring you guys success. I want you guys to share in the adventure. But there is the fact that you get this far into the season and your chances go drastically down. But if you're a gambler, when the odds are terrible, it makes the stakes much higher. Hunting is a visceral mystery, and you never know what's going to happen on a hunt. As always, God bless all my sportsmen of America. Join the NRA to protect our rights. Please check out my friends over at threeriversarchery.com. Thank you very much to those of you involved in law enforcement, those of you served in the military, and thanks for watching Tex Grebner Outdoors.